are obviously not the technical people, but we are so thankful that you were able to stick around with us, and to be here. Like, we definitely appreciate you. You are our first guest, so are some of our trials and tribulations. You're kind of moving in with us, but nobody else that I would rather go through this with as my first guest other than yourself.
Thank you. Oh, you guys, thank you so much for thinking of me, and no problem extending the hour. We're good. You can always make things work.
Yes. So Jason went through your amazing bio. And I think a lot of people in the city already know the amazing Samantha Brookes, and we're so blessed to have you. But we wanted to kind of go in and ask a couple of more icebreaker questions for those who may not be as familiar with you, right? So we wanted to just say, tell us 3 things about the amazing Samantha Brookes that people may not know. And this is about the younger Samantha Brookes, not Samantha Brookes as of today, but, as you were growing, and just who you are as a child.
Oh my goodness. Well, let me just start with, this is a crazy question, because as soon as I read it, I was like, oh my gosh, really? You guys are going to be shocked to know this. And a lot of people don't know this, but I'm actually an introvert.
Wow.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm
Okay.
actually an introvert. I was an introvert since I was a kid. I was always wandering, kind of just by myself. I like to be by myself, just quiet. It's funny because I don't know, I did things, and I had to be in front of a lot of crowds, but I was always terrified initially until it was time for me to execute. But I was a big introvert, and but
that is surprising to me, to be honest, because from the first moment that we've met, it has always been like, wow. And maybe it's my personality as well, because I'm just like one of those, oh my gosh, kind of people. And I felt that you've always reciprocated that same form of energy. So I am surprised.
Okay, so I do have a lot of energy now. What happened was a couple of years ago, I think it was 2016, a friend's husband came to me and he's like, you really should do some YouTube stuff. And so I started doing that, and I didn't want to. And I'm like, I am not putting myself out there. Are you crazy? I just want to run my business. And I was just so shy. And he's like, listen, if you're going to do this, if you're going to run your business, you're going to have to put yourself out there. And that's when I was like, okay, fine. I did it once when I was running track, and I'll do it again. I kind of rolled my eyes, and I was like, fine, I'll jump off the bridge and let's do this thing. And immediately it was like so fast. And I'm like, I want my quiet life back. But once you're out there, and it just keeps snowballing, right? So I'm a total introvert.
Something about track is so you were back in the day, I guess you're a track athlete, or?
Yes, I was a sprinter, and
hey.
And
so
is her daughter. Her daughter's amazing.
Yes, I see. Yes, I see that your daughter. So tell me about that. Tell us a little bit about that. And I'm going to add to that a bit. Has that added into who you are, like as a entrepreneur, that track life?
Oh my goodness, track has everything to do with my success.
Yeah.
Like, I know this 150%, and I try to tell the athletes, don't just think it's just about track. Mm-hmm. When you have to go through training, we start off at a younger age, maybe 2-3 days a week. And then that increases when you go away to school, and you have to be dedicated to this thing, and you're not seeing progress. You're constantly like training. And there's like very little progress. You're taking off like maybe 0.01 seconds, and you're like, yay, I got a PB. It doesn't do anything. But you know what? You're striving for something bigger, even though it takes much longer. It takes a lot of work. So that tenacity and that consistency and that determination is the same mindset that I've brought into the business. And that's why I don't stop, even though sometimes things look really messy, like it did during COVID. It looked messy when the rule changes happened. And I'm just like, this mess needs to stop, real quick, like with this industry. But, those things keep me going. And sometimes I don't want to keep going, but I'm just like, you know what? When I ran track, I kept going. The only time I stopped is whenever I was injured.
Wow. Yeah.
Right? So it's the same thing now. I look at it as the only time I'll stop working or running my business is if I'm sick. And that's why it's important for me to stay healthy. So it's, track has everything to do with my total success.
Yes. Great. And then I guess share one other thing that maybe we wouldn't have known about the younger Samantha.
Oh, are you ready for this?
Let's go.
Are you ready for this?
I'm ready.
I used to stutter.
Wow.
I used to
man.
stutter. Yes, like really bad.
Oh.
Oh, it's a family thing. So, yeah.
I would never guess, like never ever guess that. You know, I think a lot of us sometimes from, you know, when you're shy, you maybe retreat yourself in. Maybe that's perhaps why you were so introverted as well. I don't know. But I can't believe that. So how did you overcome that?
So that was something, because it was like so frequent. I'm just like, okay, Sam, you got to fix this.
Mhm.
And I took it upon myself to actually start learning about people who stutter, why they stutter, just did the research and what they did in order to overcome stuttering. And I just started practicing by
Wow.
myself and
Good.
slowing down my speaking, just mentally slowing down my thoughts before I would actually produce the words. And it worked.
Yeah.
And now I'm okay. Sometimes I'll slip up here and there, but overall it's pretty much like gone. And people don't know that. Like I'm a stutterer. Like my family stutters. My brothers stutter. But
I
we
like when you said that you thought about the words. I like that because it's like you're really training yourself to be like, okay, girl, let's slow this down.
Yeah. That's exactly what has to happen before I speak. And so, because what would happen before is that my thoughts were moving faster than I could actually get the words out, right?
It's funny that you say that, because when I was in elementary school, teachers always used to say like, "Oh, you think faster than you write." So that's interesting, and I guess the thing that I'm noticing that you're very self-aware of, like, you know, of the things in your life and yourself and about that, to know and to take with that to become a better person, and that takes a lot.
Yeah.
It does. It's one thing I've always, for myself, I've always just wanted to be better. I've always wanted more. I didn't ever want to just settle for what was just in front of me or what life had before me. I always saw a bigger picture. I always set goals because of track. I started running track at a very young age. So it's always like goal setting. Once you hit that goal, set a bigger goal, right? So make sure it's almost unattainable, so that when you reach it, you set an even bigger goal. So that's what success and growth and progress looks like, right? So at a very young age, I knew that was happening, and I just ran with it.
Yeah. You know, what you just said kind of leads into my other question, which is how and when did you know you were different? You know, we are on this entrepreneurial journey with you as well, and it does take a different type of person mentally to even think that they have the balls to be like, you know what, I'm doing this, you know, I'm gonna not rely on anybody, no 9 to 5, no knock to anybody who does, but it does take a different kind of person. What do you think was the biggest thing that contributed to that for you?
I can't even say there was like one big thing, but I did know I was different between the age of 8 and 10, just because, again, I was a wanderer. I was so curious. Like I wanted to know everything, and I hated school.
Oh,
okay.
I hated school. I'm like, no, like I just didn't like it. I mean, I did well. I never really had to study. I had great grades, but I'm just like, I could care less about this. Like I want to know other things. I want to know what I want to know.
yeah.
And so I would go and seek the answers to the things that I wanted to know. And I was just like, this is interesting. And then I would lead. Like when I started working, I noticed that they would always put me in like leadership positions, even when I was in high school. And I'm just like, what is going on here? But I'm like, clearly something is different about the way I approach people and situations, why I have become who I am.
Yeah.
So at a very young age, people, oh my gosh, I remember my boss said to me, I just remember this. My boss had said to me, no matter what you do, whatever you choose in life, you're going to be very successful.
Wow.
I remember him saying that to me. And then he made me like the team lead for all the high school kids at Weston's Bakery in Kitchener, Ontario.
I love that. Like he spoke positivity into your life.
Yeah.
You know, that's why I tell people all the time, especially when you're in those early formative years, you know, the words that other adults speak into your children
Mm-hmm.
is sometimes much more impactful than the words that you as a parent speak to your child.
Yes, for sure.
You know, and that's amazing. I'm so happy that you were able to realize that, you know, people recognize the leader in who you are, and you're definitely a leader. I look at you as a leader in our industry and in what we do. And, you know, for those of you who don't know, Samantha is an amazing mortgage broker within Canada, actually runs and has her own brokerage.
Yeah.
You know, so let's maybe kind of segue into that as well. Like, what made you get into the mortgage business?
Oh, do you guys not know this story?
You know, I have heard it before,
Okay.
but you know, I do want the listeners to hear as well.
I don't know it,
And
so it's
Jason
fresh for me.
doesn't
So
know.
it's
Yeah.
Oh, Jason doesn't know it. Okay, well, Jason, just buckle up your seatbelt real quick, okay? So, so years ago, I was actually involved with a very wealthy individual, and he was my boyfriend for a little bit. Anyways, people knew, and someone took advantage of that situation. That was a friend, or somebody I thought was a friend, and they actually did identity theft on me. Yeah, so I was a victim of identity theft, and they were able to make off with about $66,000, depleted my accounts, everything. The only reason why I knew that this actually had happened was because the bank called me and said I missed my car payment. I'm like, there's no way. I have tons of money in my bank account. What are you talking about? I'm rich. I'm 20 and I got money, girl. Anyways, no. So anyways, I had missed my car payment. I'm like, what? This don't make no sense. So when I looked, all my money was gone. And so I started looking even deeper, and then all these cards started coming in, and I didn't understand what had happened. I didn't understand credit. I just didn't know. Like, I was in my early 20s, and I'm just like, oh my God, like my life is ruined. And then that's when I started once again trying to figure out how this happened. One, two, what is credit, and why was this person able to financially ruin me the way that they did by doing the things that they did? And who's responsible? Is this illegal? Everything, right? But the police ended up calling me anyways. Anyways, long story short, what ended up happening, once I started realizing what credit could do for you, I'm like, you know, I want to help other people who run into situations like me, because not everybody is going to be able to find a way out of this type of a mess. So let me get myself out of this mess, and then I'm going to help people to buy real estate, to build wealth, so that they don't have to worry about all the other things. But let's start with the credit first. So I was like, okay, mortgages or real estate? Mortgages, real estate. I was like, you know what? I'm going to do the mortgages, because when we're dealing with money, that is the most important aspect when it comes to real estate. You can't buy a property if you don't have money. So I'm like, let me be the mortgage broker who provides that money. So that's what I did. That's how I got into the industry.
Yeah.
And how long ago was that, if you don't?
That was 2001, 2002.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I always say no one grows up saying I want to be a mortgage agent.
No, they don't. No. No. It's not something you just like you go to school for your whole life. Yeah. No.
It's not even the glorious side, right? And it's I feel like it becomes known later in life, because you always hear about a real estate agent because they're showing homes and stuff, but mortgages is like the unknown. So when and why did you start open your own brokerage? Like, when did you want to be your own boss?
Yes.
Oh boy, you guys ask some really good questions. Jason, is your seatbelt still buckled?
I've been holding on tight.
Okay, so all right, here's this story. I was in a really bad relationship. I think a lot of people go through these. The partner that we choose, and I wish I had known this in my 20s, but the partners that we choose can literally destroy your whole financial future if you are not careful. So I started my company because I saw things that I obviously wasn't supposed to know about at the time. And it had happened more than quite a few times. And finally in 2013, I realized this is not going to get any better. I need to get out. And so I went on a cruise in January of 2014. I read the book, The Principles of Success by Jack Canfield. And by the time I got off that boat, I had started my business plan. I got off the boat within 24 hours, registered my business, did everything I needed to do. I had a whole plan, date executed for the time that I was going to be leaving my business, the company that I was working for. Wow. So I put down by May, I think it was May 17th, I wanted to be done with the job that I was at, May 17th, 2014. By May 10th, I was out of there.
Wow.
By September, the business fully launched. September 18th was my launch date. And since then, it's been a roller coaster. But my first, the first 2-3 years, obviously a lot of learning. You don't really know much, but you learn along the way. Yep. You take those lessons and you keep building on it. And I almost hit the mark in 2018, but that's because I learned so much about marketing, which is doing a fantastic job, by the way. Marketing is so important when it comes to business. If you're not putting money in, you're not going to get the money back out. Okay. So once I started to realize how much I needed to put in, I did that. And then I got the money back out. So I almost hit my 7-figure mark in 2018. Okay. And so it was a blessing. And then they changed the rules. And everything's just like been, I don't know what's happening in the trench for like the last 2 years.
Yes. Wow, that's an amazing story. And I love the fact that, it was, started off with the book, you set the goals and you just executed. So what is your sign? Like, what is your sign? Because those are things, is that something that is like Samantha innately? I don't really buy into, okay, that these things can really chart our course, but I am curious, what is your sign?
I have to agree with you on that, first of all. I'm not really into horoscopes, but I'm going to tell you what my sign is. You ready?
Yeah.
Fish, Pisces.
So you're
you're me. Okay.
It's interesting.
What are you, beginning or late Pisces?
Beginning.
The beginning. Okay. Very interesting. Okay.
So where they say, I don't know, we don't believe in this, but they say we're the nicest people in the world, right?
So I consider myself to be very loyal, genuine, loving. I give people tons of opportunities because I know everybody's like, I want people to make mistakes. Make mistakes. If you make them with me, I'll give you a chance to correct them, right? Try to be a better person because I would choose to be a better person. Yes. And that's what I kind of expect as just a human.
Yeah.
Some people are just incapable of that. So they take advantage of your kindness. So I'm a little more, I'm not even gonna lie. I'm sometimes I don't tolerate nothing anymore. So I'm still very loving, but I don't tolerate as much. Like I'll put up a wall and kind of keep you at a distance if you interfere with my energy. So but anyways,
well, that's something I will definitely echo. Like as I said, since I've connected with Samantha, it's been nothing but love, so I feel that energy, that Pisces energy running through.
Well, that's good. Like, I guess you like Pisces, Nicole. Keeping us around. So we're gonna go on a little break soon, Samantha, and then we're gonna get into this your event that's coming up, this digital event. So I guess that's that cue and that play on marketing. You must have caught up on some sort of trend that's happening in the world, and I want to learn more about this event so we could tell everybody about it. But also, I want to learn more about how you decided to get into that, and what made you want to enter into that online event space.
Yeah, and what we're talking about is a date with real estate. So when we're back, we will touch on that even further. Stay with us.
This is Adrena.
The reason why I thought about this event was not just because of real estate. It was because of what was happening, the unrest in the US with George Floyd. So, and then seeing all those other things, George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, and all these injustices that were happening in the US really triggered me deeply, just because I lived in the US. I have some of my family lives there. My boyfriend's American. So I have a deep connection. I have a lot of friends there with the US, and it bothered me so much because I'm like, it could be anybody's child.
Yeah.
that this is happening to, you just don't even know if you're driving down the street, it's going to happen. So one of the things I when I was doing my research, of course, me researching always, I don't know what's wrong with me. Maybe I need a PhD, but anyways, me, I research everything. One of the things that I started to research was housing, because I started to want to understand, like, okay, so if this is happening, obviously there's a lot of poverty in the U.S. and it affects a lot of Black people, right? And then I started seeing the red lines, and I started to see more about the injustices that they were doing with Black people in housing, and how, what was it called? When they burned down, what is it called?
Black Wall Street.
Black Wall Street. And then there was Central Park. Like, there were so many different neighborhoods where there was like Black communities that were striving, and people came in and they started burning down these neighborhoods because these Black people were successful. Yeah. To me, I was like, oh, hell nah. This is not right, right? And the thing is, some people, and I mean, again, I grew up in Kitchener, Ontario. So I grew up around a lot of, people of the opposite color. Yeah. And sometimes people say, oh, she's, washed, right? You guys know where I'm coming from, right?
Yeah, I know exactly.
Okay, right. So the thing is, but they don't understand that I am still, like, I know who I am.
Yes.
Hence why I changed my hair.
Yes.
I don't want to be like every other Black girl out there. I want people to know that I know where I come from. I know who I am.
Yes.
So when it came to this whole George Floyd situation and this housing, the divide and the difference, I'm like, no, I need to do something. I have a social responsibility as a successful Black female business owner, mortgage broker, to get the knowledge out there for people to know how they can close the wage gap by buying real estate. That is the reason why I did this. Now, did I want to do it online? Absolutely not. I was ready to invest my whole life into traveling the US and speaking on different platforms.
Wow, it's going to happen. It's going to happen.
But because of COVID, it's starting out online. It's the first one. And it's funny, like, I've been, gathering up my speakers and stuff. Yeah. And one of the things I wanted to actually teach people too is how they can buy across borders, because wherever there's land, there's opportunity for real estate. It doesn't have to just happen in this city. It can happen across the country. It can happen across the border. Yeah. So I wanted people in Canada to understand you can buy in the US and the way you can do it. It may take some planning, but there's ways you can do it. And so I reached out to RBC. Do you know RBC came on as a title sponsor?
Wow.
Just last week.
Wow, congratulations.
Congratulations.
RBC came on as a title sponsor because they believe in my mission and they want a longer term relationship. They want to continue to do this. Amazing. So again, this is my first one. And I pray that this goes, like, I don't even care how many people come, to be honest with you. I just want the information out there so I can push it through social media, wherever it needs to be, use it and keep building it, right? Your first one is usually not as big as you would like it to be, but let me tell you, the second and third, when people start talking, it takes time, just like your business. The first year, you don't really do well, you do okay, right? The second year, you get bigger. The third year, you start popping off, right? Yeah. So then it just keeps right from there. So this is just the start. And my goal is to grow it, to continue to teach people how to close that wage gap and to build wealth in real estate. That's why this is called A Date with Real Estate.
I love it. Even the name is like so appropriate. When I first saw it, I was like, wow, like there was really some great thought that went into the marketing as we've been talking about, and how to even just touch the lives of people. To your point, this is greater than just mortgages, greater than just real estate. We're actually making an impact. And through this event, you're going to be helping to plant seeds in the lives of individuals that will help them to bridge that wealth gap that, is so appropriate with the wealth effect that we have here as well, right? So I am extremely blessed and honored to be one of the key speakers, but we have some amazing, the lineup is amazing. So did you want to maybe talk about the lineup, how you came about choosing people, and what people can expect outside of that as well?
Yeah, so I'll give you, so Nicole, obviously, I think you're one of the first people I actually reached out to, I'll be quite honest.
Thank you.
You're the first person I thought of, like Nicole Williams.
Yeah.
I want her on a panel with a bunch of men, and I want her to go out there and kick some butt. So that's, I was like, yeah, right? So there's yourself. I brought in Robert Malcolm, who's also from a bank up here in Canada. I have Sean Cooper, who's the author of Burn Your Mortgage. I have Egypt Sherrod, who is the host of HGTV's Flipping Out. I have Stevie Beggs, who is an actor who totally believes in real estate. He's done investing in real estate. He's on Ruthless, Tyler Perry's TV series called Ruthless. And who else do we have? We're just waiting for one more person to confirm. His name is Chris Jeffers, so we're just waiting for him to confirm. We have Alan Ferguson, I believe his last name is, and he's from Atlanta. He basically owns Atlanta. This guy. So we brought him in, and he's speaking on both days. So very exciting. Oh, and RBC. I forgot to mention. How could I forget RBC? RBC is actually speaking. So they're head of international housing.
Wow. This, honestly, I want to just say salute. Like, congratulations, give you your roses, because just the lineup in itself, to know that you've secured the sponsorship through RBC, you were thinking big and bold, and you actually did it. So I know this is just the first year, but I trust that this first year is going to launch this into being a mega event, year after year. So again, kudos to you, Samantha, and anything and everything that you do will be successful.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Yeah, it's honestly, it's an amazing thing. I think what's lacking is the knowledge, because I find that and I'm sure you find this as a mortgage professional too, that people come to us without any planning. Like they're like, I just want to buy a house, and then they just like buy a house like it's like I'm buying a shirt from Nike. Yeah. So it's good that I think our community needs to put some more planning and foresight to things that we're trying to do, so we can build that wealth, because we have a lot of opportunity. And I'm sure you notice it too. I see the people, I guess because of this Clubhouse app, I've been hearing a lot of conversations.
Were you guys not on Clubhouse?
I am not.
I'm on Clubhouse.
We are.
I've been very silent on Clubhouse.
I have 5 invites. So Nicole, when we're on here today,
you guys should go on Clubhouse before the event and just do something and promote. No, because to be honest with you, a lot of people are getting a lot of followers and attracting audience through there. And you could do it. You should do it, Monday. Because you will get people from the US. Do you hear
Jason? He's creating
he's creating it.
He's creating something for us.
Monday night at 7 p.m. Nicole on Clubhouse. No, I'm just playing. But yeah, you guys should try it out. But some of the names that you mentioned, I've heard they've been in some rooms in Clubhouse. So that's why I've heard of those names, and just seeing some of the powerful things that the people down there are doing in the States. It's very inspiring, and we have,
especially this is a Canadian lead, right?
Yeah, like for you to take that lead, because I find that a lot of the information that even my customers and people talk to us about, it's a lot of stuff that goes on in the States. Yes. So sometimes it's not applicable, but then knowing that you can invest and reach out there and take advantage of the opportunities that are in the States, like I know a wealth of people that would love to learn how to do that, because you see some of those prices and you're just like, oh man, like I want to go down there and I want to buy 10 houses for my down payment in Toronto.
Have you seen Detroit?
I know. Yeah. Oh my gosh, yes.
So I actually have a real estate broker from Detroit who started off, she was a single mom. I can't remember how old she was. She started off by wholesaling. She became a multi-millionaire. She's a real estate agent.
Wow.
And
Detroit area.
She's speaking. Okay. Her name is Tamika. I gave her a main stage for her to tell her story and to teach you guys like how she did it. What are the programs that are available? Now she does a lot of like multi-unit and single family rentals. She's a wealth of knowledge. She is huge. Yeah. She's been doing it for 25 years now. She's amazing.
Wow.
So yeah, I was like, oh, Tamika, I got to get this girl in there. And she's from Detroit. And she's like, oh, there's houses for sale for like $5,000, $10,000. They're burnt out, but you put a little money in and then you either rent it out or you sell it.
Yeah. These are the things that, so people, in addition to me being obviously one of the panelists, I will be picking up some gems. So you're going to catch me in some of these rooms, you know, mixing and mingling and learning. So I know we are, you know, 2 minutes out, so I don't want to, you know, take up all the space. So any last words, Samantha, that you want to share with us about either the event, about yourself, or plug anything else that you are working on?
Well, I mean, this event is going to be ongoing for, I'll probably have another one or two this year. It just depends on how much time I do have. And my book, as you know, Cash is Queen, is there. That's going to be back live again. Yes, we had some issues with it, but we're back. So all good. Should be up and live on the website this week when we activate again. And yeah, just if you guys need me, you know where I am. I am Samantha Brookes on Instagram and Samantha Brookes TV on Facebook. So if you guys need anything, holler at me. I'm there. I am the CEO of Mortgages of Canada. So if you guys are looking for me, I'm also there. So that's it.
So thank you for being our first guest, and everybody, you know, go to that event. You got to check that out.
Yes, you guys got to check out the event. It's going to be outstanding. Outstanding.
I'm gonna be a student as well, so I'm excited for it. Definitely excited. And then maybe we can talk a little bit later about this Clubhouse thing.
You know what? I'm gonna invite you as soon as I get off the phone, Nicole. I didn't know you weren't on there. I'll find you and get you an invite. Okay.
Perfect. Again, thank you guys for tuning into this week's episode of The Wealth Effect. Definitely be sure to check out our date with real estate, and we will see you next week.
All right. Have a good day.